As the sun dips towards the western horizon, it's time for the Corona post-show. Big talking points from a massive day of competition. We were down here early doors in pitch dark. And we've had the elements come at us today. We've seen some incredible surfing, clutch performances, a bunch of really cool talking points. It all happened in front of a solid crowd down on the beach. They were really enjoying it as well. Joining myself, Paul Evans, to talk you through the big talking points of the day. Strider Wazalewski, Jesse Mendez. How are we feeling, guys?
Feeling great. Another long day. Got a lot done and looking promising for the next few days.
I'm pickled. It's been a long one.
Yeah, it's
been down here all day.
I feel like a lot's happened. It's been
came
emotional.
Down in the dark. I think we're going to
leave.
leave in the dark, but I think that it was fun to watch some of the best surfing of the day in that corner with all those wedgie sections. Everybody did great.
Overall, in terms of the decision to run up the beach here at Molhe Leste, pretty much vindicated by the conditions we had. Some of the scores we saw go down as a great call to utilize that venue up the beach.
100%. I feel like the calls that have been made. It's very tough to make calls on events, and mostly in a place like today. And the calls that we made in the since we started the waiting period, the best surfing we had, people were in the water. So that was great effort for the team.
Yeah, the tide, as ever, a factor here in Portugal when we're talking about peak conditions coming together. When the tide is in its favourable time, that's usually reflected numerically as well in terms of the scores that go down. And we had one heat this afternoon that really just showed us just incredible numbers going down. That was an absolute highlight. It was the world champ Caroline Marks and the rookie Sawyer Lindblad, and this thing was just all fire. Wondering how Sawyer was going to react taking on the world champ. She reacted in the best possible way.
Yeah, you know what? She got to showcase the best backhand on the women's tour, and I mean, Sawyer did well. She put up some really solid numbers, but Caroline is just on the marks. It's unbelievable. And
like for a rookie, have that special of a heat and not make it, how do you bounce back from it? You have to be so strong-headed, and that's how the tour is gonna approach you. She smashed that heat, but just Caroline was unbeatable today.
Yeah, the kind of numbers that would have been good enough to get you through basically any other heat today, but coming up against the world champs, getting the bombs, throwing down all sorts of eights, just ripping the place apart.
I gotta say though, for Sawyer Lindblad to step up and surf the way that she did against, you know, a world champ, that I feel like that would give you some confidence as well, though. I mean, she really did. She brought the heat, those beautiful turns. And, I mean, look at that score line, over 15 points. That's solid work right there for Sawyer. So, congratulations. Unfortunately, one of the Mayhems fell out today.
Caroline Marks will take on Lakey Peterson. Thinking of surfers that can benefit from the fact that we lost surfers like Katie Simmers and Molly Picklum from the draw today. Caroline Marks, one of those. Another of them is Bettylou Sakura Johnson, going from strength to strength once again, taking down Robinson.
Yeah, dominated the whole heat besides this moment right here. This is the beginning of the heat. India started very well with that 5.5, and then that on, just Bettylou was just capitalizing every time she stood up on the board.
I really enjoyed how clean her rails were in the water. Like you were talking about it, how there was no noise in between those two turns. I mean, really beautiful rail work, fins. I mean, she had everything working in her form. I mean, just beautiful, solid surfing, and not any hiccups, no rails getting bit, no, like, you know, falling off, and really just solid surfing.
Yeah, that was amazing, and also capitalizing without priority. She got one, might have been her best wave or second best wave, with second priority, right by India. So just shows how present in the moment she is.
Here's the bracket for quarterfinals, guys. I'd like a pick from you. What are you looking forward to here?
Quarterfinal number one for me is going to be a banger. I mean, let's power for power. So we're going to get to see some fireworks in that heat. A lot of power surfing going down and tube rides, hopefully.
I'm going to be biased right here. I'll pick quarterfinals number two. A match of goofy and regular footer, both very good. Probably best friends on tour. It's both of them. Or I guess Bettylou with Luana would be maybe the best friends, really, but they're very close. And like usually when you have friends on tour, it's trouble.
Yeah, there's no friends in a heat, though. And so somebody's going to have to go down, and you're going to, you know, I'm sorry, but you get to the beach and maybe hug it out. But in the water, I'm taking this.
All right, let's go and hear from happy Joanne DeFay. She's with AJ.
Yeah, very happy indeed, Joanne. Moving on here to the quarterfinals in Peniche, but last heat of the day, what is the biggest challenge in that?
Yeah, we had a lot of like back and forth also today because we were like maybe the quarters, maybe not, maybe overlapping, maybe not. So it was just a little bit of a lot of going on and to like adaptation, I guess. And then I was waiting at the campsite, and then after I was like, oh no, I'm last hit, I have more time, so I'll just go back to my hotel. So yeah, literally tired actually. I'm just tired, but happy to make it.
Yeah, and how important is it at this point in the season to have that quarterfinals locked up?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's the goal, I guess, you want at every comp, and anything you get more is like a bonus, obviously, for the cut, and then. Yeah, it's just important. It's just been my goal since I'm on tour. You know, that's what you want to make the tour again next year. And then now that the cut is like even more tight. You know, you only have 5 events, so every point is counting, I guess.
So with that, though, coming back up to a crowd that has been so excited to see you all day long, what kind of extra energy does that give you?
Yeah, I love it here. I mean, there was so many people on the beach today in Peniche. Thank you for everyone for coming down and watching us. And I don't know, it was a beautiful day after the storm, and it's just nice to be in Europe, and a lot of people are speaking French. It just feels good.
Is there anything you want to say to friends and fans who are not here on the beach back at home?
Sure. Yeah, guys, thank you for watching too. I'm thinking of you. Thank you for family and friends at home, and hi to my husband at home. I love you.
Congratulations, Joanne.
Thanks.
Yeah, thanks, AJ. Euro representation from Joanne Defay. Absolutely delighted to be back here for quarterfinals. A tough heat to get out of, the last one of the day. And a solid performance from her. Of course, if you are going to go deep into any event, particularly quarterfinals and beyond, you're going to need to have good equipment. We've always got an eye on the CT Shaper rankings. One of those shapers is, of course, Channel Islands, Britt Merrick. Let's go and find out a little bit more insight on Lakey Peterson's equipment.
Kicking around.
Okay.
All right. Let's look at this thing.
Portugal blade.
Portugal blade.
Obviously, it's CI Pro.
CI Pro.
CI Pro for me has been the most reliable all-arounder. And in a wave like Portugal that's so like bowly and cuppy and quick and dumpy. Yeah. I just feel like it's been super nice for how responsive it is, because it's got a fair bit of rocker, this board, right?
Yeah, that's what I think is a good match for Portugal with this board. Is there's so much curve in the CI Pro, so much rocker curve nose to tail, that it really works in those cuppy waves. Yeah. You know what I mean? And the key with that sort of wave is you're not really needing to generate speed, you have to control speed. So this board, as I tuned it for Portugal, I was having in mind like the board sitting in the water, feeling super connected and solid off the bottom. Get off the bottom, get underneath the hook, or do those really tight turns that you do, or those big hacks in the face, but like the curve of the rocker fitting into those cuppy waves. And then like the rails too, I've kind of been working on your rails a lot this year. Yeah. You know, you're pretty, I see the smirk on your face.
Because they're different than everyone else. I know, I know.
You like a really forgiving round rail through the middle and the front of the board, which makes a lot of sense. But I've been concentrating on this area right here and tuning it. And by doing that, I've just given you a bit more bevel, a bit more tuck, and like a bit more of an extreme edge back there. Yeah. And what that allows the board to do is roll over really quickly. Right when you're rolling it over on that spot to go up the face, it really sort of enables that and makes that a quicker transition.
Which again then makes so much sense for somewhere like Portugal that's so fast, where that's like almost the most important thing out there half the days. Because unless you're just getting barreled, it's like you better get to that lip so quick, otherwise the wave is done. You don't have time like a bells or something like that you can kind of hold. So that makes so much sense for Portugal and this board choice for there. And
then also like this last year, I've increased the flip off the tail behind the back fin. So with that flip behind the fin, that sort of area of the rocker comes out of play when you're in those transitions through the top of the lip. As opposed to if that rocker was still in the water, now you're kind of dragging that through the water and it drags things out. So now that's so much flip that it comes, when you're up here, it's really kind of out of the water. And so the water releases off the end of the board more quickly and you come around more quickly.
I feel like that's been truly the biggest thing we've worked on, is finding like something at times when I need a board that's more drivey to like have it be more drivey, but also still turn on a dime, which is really what this board has been amazing for.
Yeah.
So.
Cool. All right. Well, let's go in Portugal.
Sounds good.
Yeah, buddy.
See you there.
Fascinating insights there, not only from Britt about the board itself, but also with how dialed in Lakey is with this venue, actually. She knows exactly where she wants to be on the ways out here. That was impressive.
The way that they were talking about rocker and, you know, that you don't need to generate speed, but you need to control the speed was really interesting. And articulating the, you know, all those little elements through that, they both had a really good point.
Totally, and you got to find that perfect balance, like in everywhere you go, you know, like you want to have that flattered deck, you get the drive down, go through flatter sections, but also you want to curve, you want to pivot, to get critical, because the judges love to see that. So it's the balance where you find it, you know, and it seems like they're finding magic right there.
Of course, it hasn't all been about the women today. We did run the men's elimination round, and some surprised faces to see Gabriel Medina having to go to the elimination round and do work. He did pretty impressive work.
Yeah, he looked like he was ready for battle. I mean, look at him. I really enjoy Medina and his surfing. He seems like a calmer human these days, but once he gets a little taste of some blood in the water, I mean, he just turns into a shark and catches every wave that he sniffs out.
And when you're sitting out there with him surfing and you see those small waves pass by that doesn't look good and he just capitalizes and gets sevens, you're just lost. Like, what do I do, you know? So it's very hard to compete against someone that can, overdo everything you're trying to make it happen.
Making it look bigger than it is. Ryan Callanan is an unbelievable surfer, has been surfing out of his skin. Unfortunately, couldn't come down with the second place finish because that's what it was for, as Silva just crushed it. Yeah,
Silva capitalizing on Gabriel's mistake, paddle for the wave before. Gabriel lost priority, and that wave came to Silva in the 2 minutes left. Just a beauty. Made the most of it. Aggressive surfing, very fast on his foot. Kept reflexes. That was beautiful.
So there we go, Medina and Silva. They advanced from that elimination round. We lost Ryan Callanan. How crucial could that heat prove to be for Gabriel Medina in terms of the context of his season? Well, we'll find out as the rest of this event plays out. Who else are we looking forward to from the men's side of the draw? What heat do you guys like in the look of?
You can start.
I'm really looking at Griffin Colapinto and Eli Henneman. I mean, those two guys are firecrackers. One of them's kind of a little more poppy and radical. The other one's a little smoother and drawn out, and I can't wait to see those two kind of collide in that heat.
Who you liking, Jesse?
I'm going to take my brothers from another mothers, Maggie and Gabe. Right foot forward, both right close from home. I mean, if we have some light winds or maybe even northeast winds, we might see them blow up after getting spat out and maybe some huge airs. That would be pretty fun to watch.
Guaranteed. That's going to be epic.
Yeah, we could be looking at a really fun day. Already behind us, things are cleaned up. Since we've been on air, actually, with Corona post-show, so a lot of promising stories yet to come tomorrow. We're still enjoying what went down today, though, and it's time to talk about our wave of the day. And a clear standout, really, in terms of not only the surfing that went down, but just overall the way these two competed, the way they matched each other, topped each other. But ultimately, it had to be our world champ, Caroline Marks, who absolutely tore this place apart.
You know, when you're going above the 8-point mark and you're putting in multiple radical turns with the board placement perfectly up into that zone, I mean, it was just unbelievable to watch her place her. She places her board so well almost every time.
And that comes from her bottom turns. Like, she can hold that rail on the bottom turn for so long. It's special. It's impressive. That's why has some comparisons with Aki, because both of them are amazing at bottom turns, just relaying on and, aggressive.
Caralupo, they call her.
Another former event winner here, looking to rekindle some of that, a world champ as well. Pastel skies in the afternoon as things calm down considerably on a weather-battered event, and now we look forward with some degree of increased confidence. Actually, forecast just getting slightly better and better, guys.
We like that, you know. I mean, you can see it kind of dropping off there and having the lull with that's actually a good thing here, because when the swell kind of calms down a bit and the winds come around, things get really good.
And also the best thing about it is just we're going to have better winds. Winds are going to be much lighter tomorrow and the next day. And even though it's slowing down a bit, we still have a west enough swell to wrap it in Supertubos. So
and then Wednesday's looking like it's offshore again in the morning and a little bit bigger, so a little bit of a bump. That could be part of finals day as well. We'll find out.
Our surf line forecast hopefully promising us 3 days of offshore. Tomorrow could be the biggest day of all. Could see some big tubes go down. Really excited about the rest of this event and some great looking matchups yet to come. Still sticking with today though, and everything we saw that went down. Time to dive into it and look at our top 5 moments from the day. There was a lot to pick through here, but the heat that we saw go down, well, it was the old goofy foot encounter, and we talked about the fact we're quite surprised to see Medina in this one. We needed this guy to get a result, and the buzzer beater from David Silva, really impressive.
Yeah, that was amazing surfing, and all goofy footers affair right there. That's very fun to watch, mostly if you're right foot forward. And David just a buzzer beater under pressure, not having the best results all so far this year, so impressive from him to pull that off.
Yeah, not to mention Medina not having the results, right? So we really got to put that in perspective. They both needed to get through that heat.
More goofy energy here from Tati.
Oh, yeah, we love it. Tati, you know, I'll take this one because, you know, for obvious reasons for you, Jesse, but I was really impressed. She got the ball rolling and never stopped. I mean, that's what we love about Tati. Once she gets going, she looks comfortable, she looks free and loose, and that's the Tati that's dangerous.
Yeah, and sometimes the heats just go your way, you know, like you start and things start going your way, you just got to capitalize, because it's not always that you're going to have Sally Fitzgibbon just catch one wave the whole heat in a 5.5. So make the most of it, take advantage.
A statement performance from this woman. Tyler Wright didn't have a great start to the season. Today could be the day she turned that around. She absolutely ripped out here.
She did, and you know what? Her post-heat explanation of where she's at mentally and physically was amazing. I mean, there was so much information in that. So if you get a chance, go back and check that out. But this was, you know, some great surfing, solid, you know, and looked like she was back to being in form.
So many storylines. And in terms of Shreddy Lou and what she's been able to do on the North Shore, she didn't want to change it around. She just wanted to keep it going. That's exactly what she did today, Jesse.
I mean, how consistent she has been throughout this year. It's pretty impressive. She's not #1 in the rankings, but I got to say, like, the surfer with maybe the least mistakes all year long might have been her. Like, the level of confidence she's carrying, how she's able to capitalize in crucial moments on the heat, and beautiful surfing. Like, she's looking great.
She might be #1 after this event.
She could be, yeah. I mean, she has chances.
Is on fire.
Bettylou looking really, really good. Looking to capitalize on the fact the surfers ahead of her in the ratings, like Picklum and like Simmers, have gone out, as did this woman. Now, once again, Caroline Marks' statement performance today, finding bombs and surfing like this, the #1 moment of the day. She was excellent.
I love Jesse's analysis of how long she can hold the bottom turn, keep it on rail, and just react to when she needs to place the board. Right on the money there, Jesse.
Yes, and like you can't take it like all the rest that she's done, but bottom turns are very underrated. They're so hard to do, and that's what sets you up for, look at this whole wave. Everything came from a perfect bottom turn, and that's what gave her the best score. Just back-to-back for major maneuvers, getting excellent.
Caroline Marks looking very good value indeed. Well, we talked about the forecast and how good it looks for tomorrow. And generally, when we get a good surf forecast, that means set your alarms early tomorrow morning. How are we feeling about an early start, guys? You up for it? Should we do it?
100%. We'll be straight to bed right after this.
So we're going to come back 6:45 call tomorrow morning for a 7 o'clock start. So up bright and early in the morning, worldsurfleague.com. We're hoping for a big, big day of competition. Hopefully some big tubes right behind us right here as we anticipate coming back to our main venue at Supertubos. We'll send you out some highlights from a big day of competition. Thank you, Strider and Jesse. I look forward to the pleasure of your company tomorrow, guys.
Thank you, boys. Great day.
Have a good one, everyone. Yee.
can see it in your eyes, it's the right time. You wanna lose yourself, you wanna go wild. Yeah, the rhythm is addicted to the bass line. You make the lyrics so delicious cause you're so fine. Go ahead with your bad self, put on the show. Oh, 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 oh. If you wanna party, I got what you want, what you're looking for, everything and more.
This copyrighted event broadcast is produced by the World Surf League for broadcast around the world and may not be retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise distributed or used in any form without the written consent of the World Surf League.